Plus, it's different when you're by yourself versus in front of a group of people. Right?
Absolutely. But that's what oh yeah, the professors are tough. But that's what the practice is for.
Yeah.
So that again, you're creating this physical, mental connection where you can tell your body to do certain things. And you've trained it, just like music, just like sports. You train and you train and you train and you train, and then you hope that you can do that thing under pressure.
Yeah.
And you can, more and more.
Very difficult because that's why I was kind of looking like I'm in trouble.
You can change them. This is for you. This exercise is for your benefit, so you can do it here and then go home and totally change your mind and pick something else. Sometimes it takes a little bit of thought and experimenting to find what you're happy with. But right now, what's your best guess? How would you like to be seen when you're speaking?
I want to be seen as formal, open to knowledge.
Formal, open to knowledge.
Maybe friendly.
Friendly. Okay. I have a question about formal. Do you actually mean formal or do you mean serious?
So I think I set myself in this real scenario of the teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have.
You want to have authority?
Yeah.
No? Gravity?
So I try to.
Like professional formal? Is that what you mean?
Do you mean
yeah,
professional?
In terms of dressing codes and.
Okay,
the way
all right.
that
I think professional, I think Gerald has found, I think that might be a better word because formal can be a little bit stiff. And I don't think that's what you mean.
That's why I think it's very difficult because if I be too formal, I think the students will be
Right.
communicate with me things that are not
Right.
conversational. But at the same time, I also want to implement strictly classroom rules.
Got it,
So
got it.
It's like you can't cheat, then you can't cheat.
Right,
But you're
I
open
see.
to-
So it's not just professional, it's also
Like
almost like no nonsense. No, you're right. It's difficult to find the right word for that. Let's stay with formal for now because we understand what you mean by it. If you find a better word, you'll substitute it. Okay? Perhaps it's not quite strict. It's not strict either.
No, it's not strict. I think I will.
High standards.
It's just like facing human being. You want to be considerate of other people's feelings, be flexible. But facing knowledge, facing numbers, you want to be
respectful, strict.
A centimeter's mistake will cause there's something.
Yes, yeah. I don't know the right word. I think we'll all think about it some more. Professional is very close, but I think you also want a piece of it about the ethical standard, what we owe to knowledge, the respect that we owe to knowledge.
And also respectful I want students to be respectful to instructors, respectful to other peer students, respectful to guest speakers. Just all different topics I need to send.
Let's stay with formal for now. Okay, hold that thought and write those three things down. Formal, open to knowledge, and you said friendly for the third. Is there a fourth one or is three enough?
If I can, I won't be humorous, but that's kind of very challenging.
Okay, why not? You can be whatever you want. Funny. Gerald, what are your 3 or 4?
I have 6.
6. All right, let's look at them. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's get them all, and then maybe we can find them down a little bit.
Confident. Well, you listed.
Did you say competent or
confident?
Confident.
Enunciate.
Confident.
This is a practice where you're smart,
Smart.
informative,
Informative.
funny, relaxed, and interesting.
Funny. Relaxed. Ooh, hard to.
It's hard. So
Yeah,
like,
because those are all really good.
Yeah. So so my ideal presentation skills would be to be as good as Steve Jobs, and he has all of those things.
He worked very hard on that. Have you seen videos of his early presentations?
How early?
At the beginning, the earliest you can find.
So like his very first one, he said he was very nervous. He was about to puke,
Yeah.
but he was still really good. I think he's a natural good talker.
Well, I think he had some interesting things to say, but yes,
Yeah.
he's a good model. Confident, smart, informative, funny, relaxed, and interesting. We'll leave them all for now. And I never do that. I never let anybody have 6. Okay, now I want each of you to pick a name for your avatar. I have Jezra, Warrior Princess. Your name could be Super UN. It could be something totally different. You could make it up. You could call yourself Steve Jobs. That could be, no, it's a good avatar name. If that's what you aspire to, then that's a name that evokes that.
That's true, yeah.
So pick a name that you want to give to your avatar. This is great. And again, you can change it later. Just pick something now and you're not stuck with it. You can change it if that's best for you. UN, what do you think?
Learning friend
Learning friend. Yeah. So I am learning friend.
of you.
Hmm?
Of you. Basically, you this audience.
Okay, so your character's name is Learning Friend?
Right.
Okay, so both of you stand up, please. Gerald, what's your character's name?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Pretty-
Okay,
it's
so
like-
we're going to make what's called an avatar speech. And we're going to actually be doing 2 things at once with this speech. First, we're going to be practicing feeling like our avatars, but we're also going to be practicing a format called the instant speech format, and you can see it here. There's a key message followed by 3 supporting points, followed by a key message at the end that summarizes, right? So, I'll do it first, and then each of you is going to do it. I am, not I wish I was, I'm trying to be, wouldn't it be great to be, but I am. We're going to own it. I am Jezra, Warrior Princess. That's my key message. So that's my topic statement, right? I am warm, smart, and edgy. No, let me do that again. I am Jezra, Warrior Princess. I am warm, smart, edgy, and calm. I am Jezra, Warrior Princess. Now, I want you to note 2 things. The key message is repeated at the end with the same words because we are reinforcing. And we're also concluding, and you want your conclusion to match your thesis statement, which was at the beginning. So, I am Jezra, Warrior Princess, or I am Learning Friend. I am knowledgeable. No, I am formal, open to knowledge, friendly, and funny. I am Learning Friend, right? Okay, pick up your notes so you can see them, and now you do it. Okay, and uncross your feet. I want you to be grounded before you start to speak, meaning feet below your hips, knees slightly relaxed, right? Because it's hard work, so you need to be physically grounded and ready, okay? And then I want you to breathe out. Let go of some tension. Breathe in, and then make your speech, okay?
I am your learning friend.
Yes, you're learning friend.
I am friendly, open to knowledge, and formal.
Yes.
I am your learning friend.
Yes, that was wonderful. Your learning friend, not just learning friend. Thank you. That was great, really great. Tara?
I am Steve Jobs.
Yes.
I am confident, smart, informative, funny, relaxed, and interesting. I am Steve Jobs.
Great, awesome. Thank you both. Have a seat. So one of the things that I want to send you, and if I forget to include this, please let me know. Just a little article on how you can practice feeling like your avatar. Just how many seconds did that take? 3 seconds, 5 seconds? That's one of the things you want to practice in the morning in front of your mirror. But the trick is you want to feel it. You want to feel like what you're saying is true. Just pretend. Feel it. Right? And that again is creating that memory, that mind-body connection, so that when you decide to feel like your avatar, you can just feel it because you've been practicing feeling it. Do you see what I'm saying? And then that takes care of a lot. Like, for instance, clearly Steve Jobs pauses very effectively between each element of what he's saying. So if you're feeling like Steve Jobs, or your version of it, the Gerald Steve Jobs character, then you're going to be pausing. Because that's built in. That's what he does. You were smiling. Yuan, you were very warm. You were smiling. So you're not just saying that your learning friend is friendly. You're feeling it. You're showing it. And if you can become your learning friend, then you don't have to worry about being friendly. It's built in. It's there automatically, right? So this is one of the beautiful things about avatar practice, and it also opens the door to using the instant speech format for other things. And I will send you more information about that. But right now, I want to go back to dense information and some of the ways in which we can present dense information. Here's my theory about it. I have a theory that when you're presenting to people who are not as expert as you, even if there are people in the room who are, if there's anybody in that room who's not as expert as you, my theory is that they want to know 3 things first. And these are the 3 things that we forget to tell them. What is it? What does it do? And why do I care? Why is that important? Why is that useful? Right? These are things that experts often forget to tell us before they jump into the part of the discussion that they find interesting. How I improved it, why it's better than the other version, right?
What's Toastmasters?
What's Toastmasters, exactly. So if you were going to do this for Toastmasters, and I'm not a member of Toastmasters, but I'll rely on the knowledge of it that I do have, the meetings that I've gone to, I would say Toastmasters is a club. It's a voluntary club. We get together and practice public speaking. That's what it does, right? This gives us an opportunity to work on our skills in front of a group. That's why it matters, why it's important, why it's useful. That's how I think you should start an explanation of something for a non-professional or non-expert, non-technical audience. Now, the example that I brought with me today is this. This is a clipboard. It is used to hold papers. And it's useful for taking notes if you don't have your phone handy, or you can pass it around a room and have everybody write on it. Right? So that's my example. I'd like each of you to just pick an object somewhere in the room, grab something. You might have brought one with you, a bottle of water, you can use my book. That's perfect. That is perfect. Grab an object, and we're going to present the object to each other. So since you have one in hand, why don't you go first, and you need to pick an object. Can be anything. Could be the one you're holding. There you go. Excellent. All right. So stand up first, please. And once again, before you start to speak, push your chair back so you have some room, or get in back of it. Either is fine. Okay. Now, before you start to speak, stand in a nice solid position. Settle yourself by breathing out, and all the way out. You want to, here, can you do this with me? Really? You're not letting go. Let go, let go, let go. Let the tension go. Settle. Right, there you go. That was letting go. More, okay? And then smile at somebody. These are called the 4 S's. And now, tell me, what is it, what does it do, and why does that matter?
Okay, so I'm sure you guys all know what a neck pillow is. So this is the caviar neck pillow. It's called the evolution pillow. And basically, if you travel and you need to sleep, this will basically help you sleep better on the airplanes or in the car.
Great.
And like I was saying before, it's a neck pillow, but it's not just any neck pillow. It offers better support, because if you've ever used a normal neck pillow before, you'll probably know that they don't work that well. So this actually offers more support so that you can sleep better on the airplanes or in the car. And there's also a pocket here where you can put an MP3 player and connect it and put it into your
very
ears.
cool.
Yeah.
Could I try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you told us that this offers better support.
Yes.
But I don't remember hearing you say, this is a neck pillow, it's used to support your neck. You said it helps you sleep better,
Oh, okay.
right? So this is what I mean about expertise, like you're an expert in this pillow.
Right.
This is a very, very intense pillow.
Yeah.
So you told me why it's better support before you told me it was support.
Right.
And that's the curse of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You started by saying, I'm sure you're all familiar with neck pillows, but what if we're not? What if we just arrived from Mars, right?
That's true, yeah.
So I want you to do it again and pretend that we just arrived from Mars, and this is an object that neither of us have ever seen before, okay?
Sure. So this is a neck pillow, and it basically offers support for your neck whenever you're traveling, or even if you want to sit at home in bed and you're stuck in a position for a long period of
Yeah.
time.
And why does that matter? Why is that important? What does
And-
it allow us to do?
Yeah, and it basically allows you to rest better and not injure your neck for being in one position for a very long time.
There you go. Fantastic. And now that we understand that, newly arrived from Mars though we are, now you can explain why it's a better design than some other neck pillow, because now we're totally locked and loaded. Awesome. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. You on?
Actually, I'm changing my mind, and I will just introduce the textbook that I
Okay.
students to use.
All right. So we're going to pretend that you're holding a textbook, and you're going to present the textbook to us. And don't forget, we just came from Mars. We've never seen a textbook before. So before you tell me about why this particular textbook is the best in the universe, including Mars, we need to understand, actually, what is this thing? What is this object? Do I eat it? You know, is it a pillow like that? What is it? Okay? So you're holding a textbook.
In order to participate in this class properly, I hope everyone has a textbook, International Business, Global Marketing, which by Professor Hugh. So the reason why you want to have this one is most likely we'll be using the most front 13 chapters. So if you don't have it, then you don't have time to read it, go through it before you participate in the class. And also we'll be using other case studies, and we also expect you read beforehand.
Good.
So what is it? It's a textbook with 16 chapters, which
Uh-huh.
will be covered in this class for 13 chapters.
Uh-huh.
Most likely,
Professor, excuse me, what is a textbook? I've never heard that word before. What is a textbook?
I mentioned it in the first sentence. I said
What is it?
it's a textbook.
What is a textbook? I don't understand that word. What is a textbook?
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Can you eat it?
Great.
Do you want me to wear it?
Okay, so.
Does it
textbook-
cook dinner?
Great, thank you, actually. Textbook is a material that we read in order to enhance the study and participate in this learning
Oh,
process.
it's a collection of materials that we're going to read to enhance our studying in this class.
It could be in both paper format and also electronic format.
Oh, it could be paper or electronic. I see that the one that you're holding is paper. Excellent. I think I understand now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Awesome. So this is how far we have to break things down sometime. You know, instead of, this is a great textbook, and if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to keep up with class. That is how your introduction was perfect for a college class. They know what a textbook is. You told them what they needed to know. This is it. This is which one it is. This is what we're going to do with it. This is why you need to have it. But for this exercise, we're stepping even further back and going, well, wait a minute, what does that thing do? It supports your neck. Why? So that you can sleep. What does this thing do? It's a collection of reading materials. Well, why? So that you can learn. It enhances the learning in the class, right? Great. Awesome. Do you want to try it again? Pick another material? Or should we move on to the instance? Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Just because I think it's good practice to just break something down to the most basic level of understanding. Let me try another one too. All right. This is a water bottle. It contains water, and it's useful because you can take it wherever you go, and if there is not another source of water available, you will have water to drink. Was that okay? Does anybody see a way that that was like not basic enough? Is there a more basic level?
They will ask you what is water.
Right, what is water? Water is something that we drink to stay alive. You know, I could have said this is a plastic bottle filled with water.
And a plastic
What is
bottle.
plastic? Right, exactly. There's always another level down you
Oh,
can
I mean,
go.
the plastic bottle can be reused. That's why you will hold it.
The plastic bottle can be reused. That's true. That's an important part too. This is a container for water. It is made out of plastic, a reusable material, and it allows me to carry water with me in case none is available.
That's a great explanation.
There. Well, but look how hard it is.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's hard. It's
But-
really hard because we're going against everything that we know and trying to go, well, what is the most basic thing that I could say here?
I guess if you're trying to explain it to like a child, that's
Mhm.
how you would have to do it.
That's the benchmark. And in fact, for public speaking in general, if you think about a smart 10-year-old, 10-year-olds are incredibly smart because they haven't, well, it used to be 10, it might be down to 8 now. If you take a smart child who has not yet hit puberty, so they don't have all the inhibitions that come from the hormones and the growth spurts and trying to figure out their social role, if you catch them just before that when their brain is really developed, but they haven't gotten confused yet by their social and physical development, that kid can understand anything. If you can find a way to explain, well, maybe not the stuff that my data scientists were talking about the other night, but I believe that ultimately there would be a way even to have them understand, you know, sophisticated probability theory or topology or, you know, I don't know what, right? I think it's theoretically possible to explain anything to a smart 10-year-old. And it's a good, when you're thinking about public speaking, it's a good audience to keep in mind. Because it does make you kind of think in a more basic way. They're smart, they understand, but they don't have the experience level that an adult has. So it makes you explain the context differently. You guys want to do another one? Do you have another object?
I'll use this, I guess.
Okay, great. Stand up.
So this is a wireless headset. What that means is it outputs sound into your ear when you wear it from your cell phone, which is a communication device that allows you to talk to other people. And these are useful because that way you don't have to keep the cell phone to your ear, or if you're moving, for instance, you're driving or somewhere else, you can focus on the road and not endanger the lives of other people and yourself.
Wow, great. That was great. And it was very clear, and there was good pausing and good articulation. And it was a lovely explanation of an object that people might not be familiar with, particularly if they just arrived from Mars, or if they've been sleeping for the last 10 years.
Sure,
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Yuan?
I will stick to my first idea.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Coca-Cola. It's generally used when you feel thirsty and want something cool, as you always come from the refrigerator. I also give you slightly extra energy, like coffee, because you have caffeine elements in it. So the name is called Coca-Cola, and it will give you energy after lunch or something.
The only thing that I missed hearing was that it's a liquid, which it's something that you drink.
Right.
Because, you know, if you didn't know that that was a soda can, it could contain bread, powder, you know, music. Other than that, excellent, excellent. You talked about how it's used, how it's stored, what the effect of it is, a couple of ways in which you would use it. Great, great. Just throw in liquid and you're home free. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so this is a format, a sort of scheme that I think is useful for using at least to prepare a technical presentation. You might not stand up and give the points in this order, but it'll help your thinking when you're presenting to a non-technical audience. It'll help you get back to that beginner's mind that I mentioned. Now, another format that's very useful, one that we just touched on, is the instant speech format. We used it as the basis of an avatar speech, where the key message was, I am Jezra Warrior Princess, or I am Gerald Steve Jobs, or Steve Jobs, or I am your learning friend. That was the key message, and then we supported it with describing the qualities that we have, and then we reiterated the key message for reinforcement and to show that we have now proven the point that we set out to prove at the beginning. So that's a very basic use of the instant speech, but it can be used for all kinds of other things. It can be used to educate, it can be used to persuade, it can be used to instruct. It's useful for a lot of things. So there's value in practicing this format in other contexts besides practicing your avatar speech. So for instance, when somebody asks you a question, a public speaking best practice is to answer the question first, and then give your supporting argument, then reiterate your answer. You don't have to do it this way. You don't want to do it this way every single time. If you're leading Q&A and there are going to be 20 questions, you're not going to use the instant speech format 20 times in a row. But you want to be able to use it, and it trains you to say the most important thing first. That's the best practice for answering questions, for speaking to senior leaders in business, because they're impatient often, and for putting together a presentation, because you want people to understand what your presentation exists to prove. So let's try that. Could one of you ask me a question? And it's just a demonstration, so if I don't know the answer, I'm going to make something up. Any question?
Is this the first time you come to Rutgers?
This is not the first time I've been to Rutgers. I was lucky enough to teach an undergraduate business seminar for women in Newark. I taught an undergraduate business seminar class, a single class for women in New Brunswick, and I also did a program through the Learning Center 5 or 6 years ago. So this is not the first time that I've been to Rutgers, and I'm very, very happy to be back. So do you hear what that format does? It tells you where to begin, it tells you where to end, and it restricts the amount of wandering around that you can do in the middle because you've only got 3 supporting points, right? So I didn't go off on some tangent about how when I was in New Brunswick, I stopped in at Freehold because I have a sister who lives there and her husband barbecued dinner, and it was a really great experience, and that's why I always love to come to, no, it kept me focused on demonstrating that my key message, elaborating, making, in this case, just elaborating on my key message. Okay, so that's how the instant speech format works. I'm going to ask each of you a question, and I want you to make an instant speech. So the first thing you're going to do is look for something big and general to say. Now, notice that the assignment is not to look for something brilliant and unique to say. Often in business, it's just important to speak and be heard, even if what you're going to say is not the result of 6 months of research and deliberation. If you're in a meeting, it's important that you be heard. It's important that you be recognized as a contributing member of the team. So getting in the habit of just saying something is important, and the instant speech format is a good way to practice doing that. So hang on. I want to take a note because there's something I want to send you about this. Okay, Gerald, my question to you is, What do you enjoy about business? Now you want a high-level, general, stake in the ground message.
Sure. The thing that I enjoy about business is the ability to that allows you to sell a product that you're really interested in.
Okay, now you're going to tell me 3 things about that.
Okay. The thing about selling a product that you're really interested in is that, number one, you believe in it.
Mhm.
So you're selling a product that you really think will benefit and add value to society.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Number 2?
Number 2 would be that the value, the product will be of value, so it should generate enough money for you to sustain the business.
Uh-huh. And number 3?
And then the third one, part of why I enjoy business is, I said a lot of ums in that.
So that self-critical voice
Yeah.
actually took a train of thought
It did, yeah.
and stopped it right in its tracks. See how that works?
Plus, I couldn't really think of the third one.
Right, okay. So I'm going to say that perhaps your key message was a little too specific.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think my question was a little too specific. So rather than say, what do you enjoy about business?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's actually not that specific. You know, you could have said, I like, selling a valuable product, or the thing that I enjoy about business is selling products. I like selling valuable products, I like selling products that I believe in, and I like selling products with other people. So what I enjoy about business is selling products. Right? Something like that?
Oh, yeah,
Let's,
right. I just thought of a third one, but
what is it? What is it?
The ability to interact with people.
There you go. All right. Now, do you remember what your key message was?
Yeah, that's why I enjoy business.
The thing that I enjoy about business is
selling.
selling valuable products.
Right,
Or is that it gives you a chance to sell valuable products. Right? Okay, so you want to be sure to hang on to that key message. Let's try an easier one. What's an activity that you enjoy?
An activity I enjoy would be basketball.
Okay, there's your key message. You just said it. An activity that I enjoy is basketball.
Right.
Now tell me 3 reasons or 3 types of basketball or 3 seasons or 3, whatever, anything.
And the reason why is because it allows you to stay physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you to analyze your weaknesses and build upon them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third is that you work together in teams, so it helps you develop your teamwork skills.
Great. So for all those reasons, an activity that I enjoy is basketball.
Right, yeah.
Say it.
And for those reasons, the activity that I enjoy is basketball.
Awesome. That was great. Great. Yuan, what's an activity that you enjoy? Or anything that you enjoy. What's a food that you enjoy?
Teaching.
Activity I enjoy is going to a conference.
Going to a conference. Girl, you are serious. Okay, so tell me 3 things about.
So going to a conference will allow me to meet those field renowned people that I will not get a chance to meet in normal life, in my same school.
Great.
They're all from different institutes.
Great. So that's number 1. What's a second way in which you enjoy going to a conference?
Second reason I'm enjoying going to a conference because I'll be able to present my own ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And people most likely will give me feedback.
Mm-hmm. And a third reason?
The third reason that I like to go to a conference is because sometimes this will be on YouTube. Conference sometimes organize very good attraction places to
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those are just 3 of the many reasons why I enjoy going to conferences. You say it.
Those are the 3 reasons that I enjoy going to conferences.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's do one more. What kind of a professor do you want to be?
I will be a research-intensive professor, which is
Okay.
also able to teach.
Okay, good. Okay, I thought you were going, never mind what I thought. Okay, so tell me 3 things about that.
So first, this professor needs to be very proficient, fluent in the field of knowledge,
Mhm.
using it,
Mhm.
which means to be able to publish in the field of general knowledge.
Mhm.
And that.
Okay, that's number one. Number two?
Second, number two, I think is the very most important thing about being a professor. So you need to care about human, rather than just care about the field that you're studying. You have to transfer the knowledge to the next generation of your peers.
Mhm.
So, you care about your peers to transfer knowledge to them either via conferences or talks, and also you're able to communicate this knowledge to lay people.
I'm going to say that that's getting to be a really complicated.
I know.
Right. So do it again. Start from the beginning. I'm going to ask you the question. I want you to just give me really brief answers. I want to be a professor who can communicate knowledge. I want to be a professor who respects people. I want to be a professor who, right? Just go right to the point, because the more you elaborate, the less I'm taking in.
I agree.
Right? So what kind of professor do you want to be?
I want to be a professor. But wait, those two sentences we were just talking about communicating with people and communicating knowledge and respect for people, that's the supporting point.
Right, exactly.
That's not the key message.
Right. The key message is I want to be a professor who does in-depth research but also teaches.
Okay, so that didn't change. Okay, good. So the professor that I would like to become is the one that does in-depth knowledge, research, and also able to teach.
Mhm.
So
I want to. I want a 1, I want a 2, I want a 3.
In order to become that kind of professor, I would like to communicate knowledge with people, respecting general public people, also be able to generate interesting ideas. Care about it.
Great. So I want to be a professor who?
I want to be a professor that can both conduct that knowledge and also able to teach.
Great. Okay, good, good. So part of this exercise is being as really focused and brief as possible. You want to teach yourself to go right to the point. So I can say to you, I want to be a professor who respects knowledge. And now I can keep going for quite a long time and tell you everything that means to me. But really, the point is in those first few words. And trust that your audience gets it. You don't have to elaborate, right? Trust that they get your idea. I want to be a professor who respects knowledge. That's an interesting idea, and it's very clear. And if you want to elaborate, pause, stop your thought, end your sentence, pause, and then tell me something else. But don't just keep going because you're not sure that your idea stands alone. That may not have been what happened with you, but I had that feeling that you felt like you just needed to tell me more.
That happens a lot.
Right.
I feel that I can never answer people's questions.
Okay.
Like, soon they ask me something that...
But trust that a very simple idea will be sufficient. When you answer a question, you want to give the simplest answer that you can, and then check with the person and see if they need to hear more. Now, see, you weren't really looking at me when you were going on. If you had, you would have seen that I picked up my papers.
I know.
Pretty clear sign that I'm losing interest. That's a pretty good time to stop, right? But it's easier to stop if you've already stopped. It's hard to stop in the middle of a whole long discussion. You have to trust. And this is a problem not just in academia, but often in business you'll hear too, that people just state their idea and then they just go on and on and on. And I'm like, wait, what was the idea? What was it you were trying to say? So let's break it down to something even more basic and try this exercise again. Gerald, what's your favorite color?
That's a complicated question.
Okay, let's give you a simple question.
No, can I
Okay, all right, but make your complicated answers really simple and
Sure,
focused.
My, I can't break down the points because.
Okay, what's your key message? It might be, I have no favorite color.
My favorite color really depends on my mood.
Okay, good. Now give me 3 examples.
If I'm feeling like going out into like a natural habitat or something, my favorite color would then be green or blue. If I'm feeling fashionable, then my favorite color would be red.
Mhm.
And if I'm having like a dark, gloomy day, my favorite color would be black. That's why it's
My favorite color.
My favorite color depends on what my mood is.
That's awesome, awesome. And you almost didn't do it.
Yeah. 'Cause
You almost didn't do it because something popped up in your head, some little voice that said, "Oh, you did not good enough," right?
well,
But it was great.
But I'm not really good at off the cuff talking.
Why do you
'Cause-
say that? You just gave a great off-the-cuff speech. You just did it, and it was great, and I'm saying it was great, and I don't say bullshit because I don't need to. I don't need to, ever.
Well, if that was
Ever.
really that great, I could have just said it without saying, hold on a second.
No, see, this
I'd
is,
think about it.
okay, so understand that that voice is completely full of shit. So you're going to listen to it or you're going to listen to me? That's a choice that you can make right now. Who are you going to believe? The little voice that's like, well, no, that couldn't have been great. She can't be right. Well, excuse me. Yes, I can be right. I am right. I am right. That was great. That was a great speech. The voice, that's bullshit. That's some other thing. That's called, technically what it's called is internalized depression, right? We all have it. Everybody has that voice. Okay? Read the first chapter of the book, please, of my book, okay?
The Avatar stuff?
The avatar stuff is tied up with this little voice. That's one of the things the avatar is good for, is teaching you to fight back. Everybody has that voice that says, that's not good enough, you're not good enough, you didn't do it right, you didn't do it well enough. Mine is actually very specific. My little voice says, you're such a fucking idiot. Yeah, that's how I know this stuff. I'm not making this up. I know this stuff from living this stuff, and I have many, many, many years of experience with hundreds and hundreds of clients, and not one of them is missing that little voice. Well, obviously this is our subconscious minds going nuts, repeating things that we heard in childhood or just general poison that's in the atmosphere. What are you going to do? Are you going to buy into it and believe it? Or are you going to say, no, I just gave a perfectly good instant speech. Jezra said it was great. Who are you going to believe, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is the mental discipline of public speaking. Choosing what to believe, choosing where to put your attention, choosing whether or not to buy into these random destructive bullshit things that happen in your brain for no good reason. No good reason.
I guess one of the challenges I have, it goes down to who I am. Like, I always think I could do better, so then
Right.
whenever I do something,
Right.
I'll be
Smart,
like, wait,
ambitious people always think that we can do better.
Yeah.
It goes with the territory.
It also makes you second guess yourself a lot.
Mhm.
Ask, how could I have done better, or was that the best thing to do, or say,
There's nothing wrong with reviewing something that happened to look for ways to improve it. But when that comes from a sense of inadequacy or self-blame or self-hatred or self-criticism, then it becomes more negative than positive.
Yeah.
Right? Smart, ambitious people always want to do better. You always want to do better, right? Is there ever a moment when you feel like, oh, I just did this perfectly. It could never in life have been done better by anybody. People that think that way, they're sociopaths. There's something wrong with them.
There's something wrong. I think.
Right?
But yeah, yeah.
But you don't want to go to the other extreme and be constantly tearing yourself down.
Yeah.
You made a very good speech. It was off the cuff. One of the reasons that people don't speak well off the cuff or don't think that they do is that they have no structure. If you practice the structure,
Right.
you can speak well off the cuff, as you just did.
I see. So
Right?
sorry, when I said I do that, I meant I do the opposite, which is like, oh, I didn't do this well, so I need to keep improving.
Well, keep improving, but keep improving from a position of, oh, this is useful. I could use this.
Yeah.
As opposed to,
Yeah.
right?
But would you recommend this like in normal day speech?
It's tricky in normal conversation, but if you practice it, then you can use part or all of it. So again, practicing and presenting different things.
Yeah.
Practicing and talking to people, different things. If you practice the format, it trains you to pick out your main point.
Right.
And that's very useful. It also trains you to be brief and focused, and that's very useful. If you never use it in daily speech, that's okay, because practicing it will give you so much benefit. Does that make sense? Okay, so practicing it has value separate from whether or not you ever use it.
Sure.
What you want is the choice,
Right.
right? And so you might choose to use it because you want to be very formal, because you want to reinforce something, because you want to be very precise. But even if you never use it, practicing it gives you all kinds of awareness that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I would say what I recommend is that you practice, and then on a case-by-case basis decide whether or not to use it.
Because like
And
we were
then-
saying in the beginning, how like you talk to someone and
Mhm.
then you forget what you're talking about.
Right, right. Yeah, well, when you put that stake in the ground, try and remember what you said. And that's another thing that it helps you with. It helps you remember what you said. Yuan, what's something that you enjoy, a food that you enjoy?
I enjoy vegetables.
Okay. Now tell me 3 things about that.
Vegetables, when looks lovely, they're usually very colorful.
Uh-huh.
Vegetables make you feel healthier.
Uh-huh.
Vegetables also can taste.
Yeah. And that's why.
That's why I enjoy eating vegetables.
There you go. Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's the exercise, and I recommend it to you. It's good for so many things. I'll send you some materials about it. I'll send you some things to read. And I think you guys did great, really great. Not easy being the entire class, but you've been wonderful. I think we can wrap up 4 minutes early. We've earned it. We've worked hard. You guys have been wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to know or anything else you want to discuss before we wrap up? And you're also welcome to be in touch with me if you'd like. You can always drop me an email if you have a question or something you want to talk about.
Sure. Is your email listed?
It's not, but I'll give you my card.
Oh, great. I guess I had a general question, like,
Sure.
regarding like storytelling, do you ever think like
Uh-huh.
that's good to integrate? And
Yes,
if
storytelling is great. I'll send you something about that.
So, oh, great. Yeah.
Okay? Let's take your microphone. That wouldn't have been good, Mark. Storytelling, let me add that to my list of stuff I'm going to tell you. Stories need practice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you hear somebody that sounds like a natural storyteller, they've told that story before.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I tell
There's
all
no
the
probably,
time.
there's no probably about it, you know. People who like telling stories have stories that they have practiced telling a lot, often. I was once telling a story, and nobody reacted. It bombed. The story was a bomb. And so I told it again, immediately. Just to see if it was actually the story, or maybe I hadn't communicated clearly, and I told it a second time, and nobody reacted. It bombed the second time. And I thought, okay, that's a pattern, you know?
Yeah.
That needs more work. That story's not ready for prime time.
Gotcha.
Right? Stories are a fascinating world unto
Yeah.
themselves. But again, the important thing is practicing, and practicing out loud, and practicing on other people,
Right.
and seeing what elements improve the story, enhance the story, and what elements slow it down. Trial and error, tons of it. You know, but it's fun. It's fun to have a good story to tell.
It's fun to listen to. Most people respond better to
Right,
storytelling.
exactly, exactly. It was such a pleasure to meet you both.
Too.
Ooh, there goes that.
Doesn't have water anymore.
No water. Thank you so
Yeah, thanks a lot.
much.
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. You were both wonderful. And we are done.